When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. When I was real little, all I wanted to do was fly, man. Oh man, I wanted to be up there with the birds and totally free, ready to go anywhere and everywhere. Nobody to tell me where to go or what to do. I just wanted the epitome of freedom in my life. I wanted it all. Then I got a little bit older and I started to experience like how the world worked a little bit more. So I was like, oh, okay, there's this thing called the military. They'll teach you how to fly. That's a sweet deal. Cool, I'll get paid. You know, they'll help me through college and I'll get paid to go learn how to fly. Awesome. So then my mission was like, okay, I'm gonna join the military and I'm gonna learn how to fly. I'm gonna achieve my childhood dream. Sweet. It'll all be about me. Then learned a little bit more about myself when my mom fell and got hurt. She hit her head and had a brain injury that kept her in a nursing home for a string of years. About 8 years. And I kind of picked up the slack and tried to be more of a man. It forced me to grow up. I lost my mom for all intents and purposes. It forced me to grow up, and in doing so, I excelled in things like school, and I excelled in things like football, and I got to be the captain of the team, and started making speeches before games, and I was like, holy crap, I love inspiring people, and people, like it on the other end too. Like I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for them too. So I was like, okay, I want to be free, I want to inspire people, and I guess I'll probably just use the military to do it. So then, I just happened to start getting really good at math and science. I was like, what am I going to study in school? Ended up studying engineering. That worked out well enough for me. And so I'm like, okay, cool, this math and science thing is awesome. What if I could take that flying dream to the next level? What about being an astronaut? All about being an astronaut, man. All I wanted was to get to the moon. I would sit in envy in my bed about Mars. I dream of being the first man on Mars. And so then I kind of envisioned all of these processes in my mind until one day, a fateful day, a good friend of my sister's friend, so my sister's friend's husband, asked me, he's like, so you want to be a fighter pilot in order to be an astronaut? That's awesome. How do you feel about killing people? Pressing the button and not knowing who blows up on the other side. And I was like, oh. Well, in a moment he popped all my dreams. And then for a little while there I was like, well, I'll just go the PhD and the master's route. And so, I'll just be the really well-educated scientist on the flight to Mars. But ultimately, man, it just didn't feel right. Just something about it wasn't me. And so at some point I was like, I'm not going to grad school twice. This is for the birds. So what I'll do instead is I'll just get to that mission of, inspiring people. I wanted to be an astronaut so I could come back and say like, hey, look, I was first man on Mars. Now I could be a motivational speaker. Now I can inspire generations and change lives, change millions of lives, or however many I could reach. That was my mission. And then so I was like, well, why don't I just go into business and make a whole ton of cash so that I could come back and say, yeah, now I'm now I'm worth listening to. Now I'm a valuable human being. After I went through all of this stuff to please society, now I'm a millionaire. Now I retired early. Now I got passive income from real estate, whatever it is. Now listen to me, because now I'm worth listening to. So I walked that journey for a while. Started a couple of businesses that I wasn't truly aligned with. They just seemed like, something that would make a little bit of cash, or enough cash to get to that mission. But it wasn't really me. And I was feeling more and more this angst inside of me. Like, this isn't me. It's still, there's friction. What is going on? Who am I? What is this? Lots of these questions started popping up. And then the way my story goes is that the eclipse happened. The 2017 eclipse happened. I'm looking up at the moon going across the sun, and I'm like, that's it. I can't do another day of my corporate job. And the next day I wrote my resignation letter and began purpose coaching, which is what I do now. I made my first video 2 days after that, posted it online, and it's all been off to the races ever since. So all of this I say to tell you the most important thing you can do is realize that your story and who you are is already valuable. So don't keep waiting for someday when you have X, then you can do what's really you. This is what's truly me. This is what I am on earth to do. And what I'm on earth to do is to help other people find the thing that they are on earth to do. And you have that thing within you. You may or may not already know it, or you may be somewhere along your journey of finding the thing, and that's fine too. As long as you're consistently honest with yourself about where you actually are in your journey. A lot of people just stick to the first thing that sounded good at graduation parties back in high school, when they were tossing cornhole bags or whatever it was, and telling people like, yeah, I'm gonna go be a dentist or a doctor or whatever, just to please people. And yeah, it'll sound really good to people if you're trying to impress them. But have the courage to switch paths when it's not actually you. Have the courage to listen to that place in you that is just a whisper, and probably nobody around you will acknowledge it. And have the courage to walk a really ugly path, because your resume might look like a table of contents for a little while. But you are on a journey of your life. You will be dead someday. Find what is really you, what is truly you. And if your journey doesn't have so much to do with a career, then this still applies to you. Whatever you're doing, if it's a friend circle that you're spending time with that just doesn't feel right, but you don't feel like getting off your butt and making friends that would really enrich your life, or maybe a different relationship that would really enrich your life, or doing the introspective work that you know you should be doing, but instead you distract yourself instead of meditating, do that work. Do everything it takes to have a fulfilling life for yourself. Whatever it takes, whatever it is. Your life is the only thing that matters. Your life is worth dying for. Have that mindset. Truly, truly have that mindset, and walk into everything you do with a sense of, look, my time is running out. I got to make the most meaning out of this life by listening to my true self. Otherwise, it's all for waste. And maybe the Hindus are right, who knows? But point is, you shouldn't waste the gift that you've got around you. You shouldn't waste the miracle that is you. So if sharing my story helps you at all, I am so grateful to be able to share it with you. Go ahead and have inside of yourself the courage to listen to that place of truth inside of you. Reach it however you reach it. I've created the Purpose Awakening course for you to have a better understanding of that place inside of you. But however you reach it, go for it. Go for it, and don't ever give up on who you really are.